Down in the south of the University of Kentucky lies the Blended 3 Dormitory, where the freshman summer program in Upward Bound resides. A house divided explains this dormitory well. Two programs here for the same reasons, education and experience. Blended 3 Dormitory is made up of 3 floors and a basement. The main site is the basement, where most students watch television, play pool, have study sessions, or just hang out. Interviewing Megan Tiller in one of the common areas, the third floor lobby, in silence. The point of this interview is to get a perspective from a staff member of FSP or Upward Bound on the animosity between the two programs. Also, I want to know how they feel about it. I believe that the two programs should end the disturbing history that they live off of and come as one, meaning interact with one another instead of having a bad vibe towards one another. Explained by Megan Tiller, a resident advisor for the freshman summer program, the negative vibe between FSP, the freshman summer program, and Upward Bound always tend to occur each year, even though there's new people every time. Also, these incidents has caused an abominable history between each program that the two live off of. I am doing a project on FSP and Upward Bound students. And my main purpose is to get them to come as one and befriend one another and stop the negative past between each one of them. So I have questions for you.
Okay, I think that's a very bold suggestion.
Oh yeah, by the way, this is Megan, our
Hi,
RA.
Megan. I am Megan Tiller. I'm the RA on the girls' floor, and I love FSP.
Okay, so is this your first time doing FSP?
This is actually my second year as an RA with FSP. Last year was a little bit different. In fact, a little bit worse. Last year we had a lot of beef with students last year, even confrontation, like one-on-one. So there's been some progression. I'm not sure that the history's completely stopped, but yes, last year we did work with Upward Bound at the same time during the same summer.
How long has the history of the animosity between Upward Bound and FSP had? The new students who come in each year will have to deal with Upward Bound or FSP members because of the history, and letting go of this negativity will cause less problems each year and make each summer program a better learning experience. I think that her statement falls into place with my argument, and her goal is to resolve all of the tension. Megan pointed out how both FSP and Upward Bound are here for the same reason. Also, in the end, if you think about it, all of the disputes and beef isn't going to be a factor in your life at the end.
I think that the reason that either of these groups are here is for educational purposes. The reason that you, Patricia, or any other student who is watching this video is here is so that one day you're going to walk across the stage and you're going to get a diploma, and then the next day you're going to have a degree, you're going to be esteemed, you're going to one day have a house, you're going to have a family, you're going to have a job. The reason that you're here today is so that one day you're going to have your keys and you're going to walk into your own home. So it's so petty that everything is going on here, when in the end this will be like a grain of sand on the beach. Nothing significant. It just like blends in with everything else. It's not important. But one day someone's gonna finally realize just how silly all this is, and maybe it'll stop. But until then, we'll just beef it out, I guess.
In the end of each program, the students will realize that they didn't get anything out of arguing and their belligerence towards one another. More than that, the whole predicament between the two programs will be irrelevant to the students, and in the future, it'll just evanesce. With that being said, I think Megan's assertion is credible. In the Blended 3 Dormitory, there have been a few confrontations between students. Megan explains how they handle each situation and how they understand how the students are getting into these disputes. Furthermore, there's two different groups with two different views on things. Also, she talks about how the students live in the moment. They actually don't think about what they're doing at the time it's done.
I'm very non-confrontational, but I know that I'm not going to have anyone speak poorly of my students because you guys are important to me. However, if there is a problem and we are disrespecting someone else, and someone addresses me with the fact that one of the students is disrespecting another one of the students within the other program, Upward Bound, then I will address one of the students. Last night we had an issue with the hall director for Upward Bound. She came down the hallway. We were in the boys' lobby, and our music was loud, and she asked us to turn it down, and we turned it down, and then she came back not too long ago, probably 45 seconds later, and she asked us to turn it down even more. So it's there's like this friction, really. I wouldn't say it's a complete headbutt, but there is some like scuffing around that we have with one another, and it's just this underlying tone of just, it's not really disrespect, it's just like, we own this place, we have this territory, this is our ground.
Like cliques
Will happen everywhere you go.
At times you may feel that way, though at times you have to share facilities with many more groups or students. Initially, you may have been at that certain destination first and may claim that it's your territory, but once again, balance is not the key. With that being said, don't make the environment feel like there's enmity between you and another person or group. Also, a bad vibe will make it difficult to have a good learning environment. Therefore, I think Megan's argument is comprehensible and admirable. Keeping the disturbing history of the freshman summer program in Upward Bound a secret will create a better outcome for the program, Megan indicated. The staff of the programs make it clear to the students that they have a bad history with one another, basically saying that makes them believe they're enemies, which will make the students show hatred. The students not knowing about the history will make a total difference, she believes, for they wouldn't have a reason to in any history.
I think that if one year we decided not to tell anybody, that we were having a program, because we get here a week before them, so we already have laid slate. We already know what we're doing. We have a foundation. We've already made friends. We already hang out with certain groups. And then we have this group, and these kids, these students in FSP know that that Upward Bound are coming in. But I think perhaps in the future, maybe we won't see anything, and they'll just be like, oh, we're having, who are these new people? And just write it out. Don't even talk about how we have this history, because I feel like if students don't know, then there's no way for them to act as such.
It's just like hearing rumors. Even though this scenario isn't a rumor, or even like judging a book by its cover, being that you have never met these Upward Bound students, or they haven't met the freshman summer program students, because there are new freshmen every year. Just because the history was told doesn't mean carried it on. You actually have never interacted with one another for you to just think, oh, there's beef. We never know who starts the conversations each year. So I also think it's only because they're told, and it will be best for them not to tell the students. And since they're all here for the same reasons, having animosity makes the learning environment horrible. This will happen.
Yeah, because at our first meeting, we say, Upward Bound's coming in, we have history with them. They already have this image. We already know, we already have beef with these people. We have a history with this group. I feel like if we didn't say that, then maybe it would just be...
So she does feel like telling the students that there is a bad vibe makes them to do wrong towards one another. But not telling them will probably make a huge difference. Megan explains how in the students' future they're going to run into a lot of problems and confrontations, but they'll have to learn how to be the bigger person and handle the problems in a positive way. There's going to be many times in life where there's trouble. It should be solved, or it shouldn't.
I believe that this should not be an issue in the first place. I feel like we're all grown, and even those students who are in middle school and high school, they are on their way to being grown, and so they need to learn these lessons. There's going to be confrontation in everything you do in the workforce, within your school, within your family. There's always going to be some sort of animosity, but the important thing is to be grown, to step up and say, I am a grown-up and I can handle the situation in a way that's mature and effective and successful.
Like now, there's going to be many obstacles in life and in your educational career that you're going to have to overcome. I agree with Megan, for we all are young adults who are becoming to grow older, in which we should show more maturity. Also, the way you act make others look at you differently, especially in college. No one wants to be around or hire an obnoxious drama-starting student. In conclusion, I anticipate that the freshman summer program in Upward Bound delete all of the animosity and horrible history and start over to make it something better. Also, interact with one another more and befriend one another to make blending through a better learning environment for both programs. Thanks to Megan Tiller and FSPRA, I'm not the only one who thinks this is the right path to go. She also agrees and in this interview explains the pros and cons of being enemies with one another. Think about it. You never know till you try it. Make new friends, learn new things, and be positive.